So you probably can't see it too well, but I've got terminal brain cancer, but I'm using that against itself to raise the most amount of money ever for running a marathon. But I do not ask you for donations. I want to be completely unique, and I want to do it exclusively by getting people to subscribe to this channel so that I'm able to get sponsorships and get them to donate on your behalf. Now, that's the intro, that's the rant over. This is my third diary entry. Something that I want to add to the diary entries thing that I think will be a nice way to keep things flowing. If you guys want to comment on what questions you want asked, and then I'll try to answer a bunch of them every single time I go for these little kind of regular diary entries. Let's put it that way, because then I'll kind of have a script to go through in a way that is going to be unique to you guys as the audience, because I want to break a world record, but if you guys aren't being entertained along the way, then it's just going to fall flat. It's not going to have a huge amount of impact. Comment what you want me to speak about the next time you are sort of observing this. So subject matter that I'm going to talk about today is during the actual 32 days of doing a half marathon, all 100% live stream non-stop. I don't want to ask for donations, as you've just heard me say, but the way I'm going to get, they are donations, but every time, no matter what, without exception, every single time someone donates an amount of money, I'm going to have some sort of a reaction. So you're paying for entertainment. That's the way I want to try and categorize it. And so again, in the comment section, if you have any suggestions for what would be good ones, please lay it on me. So one of them, this would be a perfect example here. I'm in the flow of this now, so I'm not going to display it, but this little tree here, I'd be able to wrap these ring bands, pull-up ring bands that you'd see them in the Olympics around that, and I would do pull-ups on the spot. Same goes for doing press-ups on the spot. Changing my accent. If you'd like me to do a particular accent, I'll give it a go. I can't do all accents in the world, but I'm okay at switching around the vernacular around the world. And I suppose you could make me do here, try to do Icelandic, and I just have to have a go at that right there and then. Asking questions is the obvious one. That'd probably be the basic one, where it's like anybody who donates, anyone who sends like a quid is able to ask any sort of question, because it's going to be a live stream, so I'm going to be chatting to the camera as much as humanly possible. But any suggestions that you would think for a good one, let me know. I'm going to have two sections, one for small donations, small little sort of prizes that will have regular sort of simple things that I can keep going throughout the day. So like doing a press up, doing several press ups, doing a pull up, changing the accent, answering a question, little stuff like that. I'll make a list in the actual description of this of some of the stuff that I've already come up with. And someone bids an amount of money, they get to choose the music that is being played. So something that I'm going to make into it is, I got this speaker, and if you say like, oh yeah, the Beatles, I love the Beatles, here's whatever, I haven't decided the amount of cash that would be exchanged for an album to be played or something, and then someone else could come along and be like, no, Come Together is a great song, but here's here's 12 pence, play something else that starts with come. And someone else could be like, yeah, here's a tenner, go into a church while you're still playing Aphex Twin. And yeah, so that's what you're doing. You're paying for entertainment. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? And then for something that is a lot more significant, that is, it's going to be a higher cost, that is going to be something that's quite dramatic. So getting a tattoo of whatever someone wants, that would be one. Another one that I thought would be a really cool one is someone donates a big amount of money that I haven't decided what the exact amount should be, but that I do a full marathon that day as opposed from doing a half marathon. And so there's I might make that 2,620 quid, because 26.2 miles is how much you have to do for a marathon. So I'll have a couple of things like that are about a list of 5 different things or so that you don't have to be shifting through all the time. So yeah, I think the biggest things would be the small donations, because those are the ones that would be the most required to kind of keep the audience as entertained as possible through in a consistent way. So yeah, anything that you can think of, that will be very, very helpful. So there's one more thing that I want to talk about, which is Patreon. As you can imagine, I have to keep a roof over my head to, you know, be able to actually do stuff like this. And normally what I would do is I would, the way that I kind of keep the bills being paid and pay staff whenever I'm able to actually afford them, is through the GoFundMe. And part of the GoFundMe is getting tattoos, so that's my way of, you know, trying to keep things entertaining, trying to keep people involved. And that's like, you know, donate into £6 into the GoFundMe, and then people get a raffle to get any kind of a tattoo they want, or the top comment gets that tattoo on me. But, you know, that only goes so far, and so it's also inconsistent, and I'm going to be away, so I'm not going to be able to see my tattoo artist. I'm not going to be able to get the tattoos. Having a regular income, something that we can actually say like, okay, this is how much is coming in, so okay, that's the rent covered, and then it's like, okay, cool, we have like, you know, 500 quid left over, you know, outside of savings. You know, it's like, okay, cool, well, what can we do with that 500 quid that actually will have an effect straight away? It's like, okay, cool, maybe we can afford an editor for a while to do some of the work. Now, a big part of the entries that I'm doing at the moment, a big part of those is that we don't want to edit them much, so that it's very time efficient. So a big, if you guys don't like them, please, again, the first one I did, I got a huge amount of constructive criticism. So if this one is not to your taste, then again, please mention that you don't like it and you want certain tweaks, because your input is absolutely vital to make it so that this thing is worth my time. But again, if we have 500 quid or whatever, we can pay an editor to make a good video of something that we put together from, like, you know, old footage that is, you know, something that I never thought about. So that's what the Patreon stuff is going to be used for. So yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do for the daily thing. The live stream is going to be starting up soon enough, so I probably won't have a huge amount of time to, even though I say this is not really going to be edited, it still has to, like, to get a video up online, it has to have a thumbnail, it has to have descriptions, it has to have all sorts of little trinkets like that, and the time certainly adds up quite quickly. Blind Boy always has a good example of what's a good equivalent for a Patreon account, and that's if you saw me in the flesh, if you saw me walking around Ireland, walking around every single county of Ireland, and you bumped into me and you're like, I really like that guy, I'd buy him a cup of coffee, I'd buy him a pint, then just do that, sign up and go for a fiver. I do have normally I wouldn't award someone an extra amount of kind of a preference for like a tier 2 system, because I really do believe so strongly that the people that help out with the comments, like the 1 2 3 4 order, the Royal Order of the 1 2 3 4, people like that, they're not donating, they're not financially supporting the account, but they're still making a massive difference. The difference in like the 30 days greatest hits thing, it's pretty much at the end now. I think we have 2 more days of it, but like the difference has been absolutely phenomenal. And that is, you know, a part of that is certainly my videos are decent, but like, you know, what I've likened them to is, imagine an Avengers movie is released, you know, one of the newer Avengers movies is coming out, like with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. And so if they just left that and had no marketing, no advertising, the film would be seen. A lot of people would still see that film. Imagine my videos as that film. But the marketing team and the advertising, that makes way more people see the film. And that's what you guys are. And that is the sort of the 1 2 3 4 kind of order. And so I don't like to sort of promote the people who are able to donate financially, as opposed to the people who donate their time and their comments and their effort in a different way, because you are both equally as important as each other. It is a yin and a yang. I still think that there should be, like, you know, a little kind of a tweak, because I'd imagine a lot of people that would actually donate into the Patreon account, they'd be the kind of people that would have a sort of a good critique, like a fair critique, where it's like, we want your channel to get better because this is a community thing and we're part of the community and we'll help keep a roof over your head and we'll do this. And so a simple one that I'm going to have for anyone who donates, as you can imagine, £12.34. Get it? I'll just have them as the people who are able to see the videos, the daily videos first, and they will be able to make input, sort of an advanced input as to which questions will be asked in the next thing. It's only a little small thing. I deliberately do not want to have it like, you know, you'll get exclusive content and this sort of thing. It's not going to be like that. I don't want to treat the people who don't have the money different to the people that do. So yeah, anyway, that's what you'd get. You'd get sort of a small amount of early access and a bit more input into what the next diary entry would be if you're able to donate the 1, 2, 3, 4 amount in the Patreon. So yeah, here's to this is my last day in London for a while. I am going to be in the car going over to Ireland, getting the ferry to Ireland, and I'm looking forward to every part about it, except I feel like I'm really into my out of my comfort zone. One particular thing with Twitch, and that is to have the signal change from a phone to a laptop, and then to also kind of invite other people into the stream, whether they be, you know, over in America or physically there, and you know, some of the little sort of trinkets that need to be done and the admin and how to activate a raid and all sorts of stuff like that, because I'm just inexperienced with Twitch, and it's a lot of it is quite intricate. A lot of it you got to be kind of tech savvy for. And I'm not computer illiterate in any way, but I'm not used to OBS and Streamlabs and all that sort of stuff. Although I would like to say the part of what I'm doing right now is I'm actually testing the weight of the Unlimited IRL, who are sponsoring us during this, and so I'm wearing their backpack, which is all about kind of projecting a signal in a much more powerful way and having an infinite amount of batteries so that I can walk around and not worry about the camera just going dead and me being like, okay, cool, you've been ranting into a camera for, you know, an hour and the camera has actually been turned off, and no one is your 32-day non-stop live stream has ended and you didn't even know it, and now you've been planning this world record, this charity world record for, you know, the last 6 months, and it's kaput. So yeah, thank you very much, Unreal IRL, or sorry, Unlimited IRL, and yeah, thank you all very much, and I'll see you very, 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 very soon. I suppose this will actually be interesting. So that is my last training walk before I actually start the 32 county thing. So let's just see how much all this gear weighs. 1185. But also, I think an interesting thing would be like how much weight do I actually lose, if any, over the period of the 32 thing. Because I mean, like a half marathon every day, I've never been a person that suffers from like, you know, oh, how can I get more calories in? That ain't me. I do not suffer from that. But yeah, so right, that's definitely consistent. Let's see what it's like without all the gear. Speaker. Hat. Unlimited IRL bag. Thank you very much, guys. 2 5-kilo extra weight vests. That's 10. I'm not quite sure how heavy this thing is because there's like lots of sandbags that have come out. My little fanny pack. We'll have a little go. Let's see. First one's like 118 or something. 94.5. Okay, so that's over. Oh, that's good. That means it was over 20 kilos. That was it wasn't a very long run. That was only like 7k, which would be a third of a half marathon. So that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. That wasn't bothering me at all. Normally it kind of gets into my shoulders and it becomes quite uncomfortable. And yeah, I was actually hanging around in my friend's house just while I was waiting around for to get the other dog that I had there. So that means that it was actually putting pressure on that shoulder for a very long period of time, even though I wasn't walking so much. So that's really good. This is that's a really good sign. That is a really good sign. Here we go! 32 non-stop half marathons every single day. Come on, you slag! I put the fun in fundraising. What can I say? What can I say? Goodbye. Is my diary entry finished?